So here m naught is what? Rest mass, and m is what? Speed at mass at speed v, and c is what? Speed of light. So when it moves with some higher velocity, higher speed, the mass scale become inconsistent. Okay, so let's move on to the next thing. Already we have discussed it become inconsistent for atomic dimensions. Why I am writing these terms, why I'm writing these limitations or applications or usefulness, because many of the time you will write the answer and you will solve the numerical part, but you don't have much information or much content for your introduction part and conclusion part. So it will help you to build that part also, and it will help you to fetch 1.5 marks extra in each question, and that will make a major role in the selection, right? So try to use these things, because in UPSC optional physics we have to write the physics. We have to write the physics like a physicist, right? Like a researcher, right? We don't have to go much deeper in the knowledge, but whatever is written in our syllabus, we have to present in a very well format. Okay, so we must look for these things. Okay, it is not when we teach for IET or GATE, we focus on the objective type question. So how fast we can solve this, but here the matter is different, where here we have to write these things, right? Okay, so next thing is we can describe fluid motions with respect of uh, Newton's law of motion, but it is poorly suited for direct application on a continuous system. Example, F equals to ma cannot be directly applied. If we're talking about fluid, let's suppose, if we're talking about the fluid, we cannot directly apply F equals to ma. But Newton has generalized also, but can be generalized to deal with fluid. We cannot direct apply this thing, but we can derive or deduce equation. We can generalize the terms for the fluid also. Okay. Also, Newton's laws of motion does not hold when the occurrence of the event is not simultaneous. That is, for specifying things, Newton's third law hold only when action and reaction occurs simultaneously. If we have a time gap between the action and reaction, suppose here is action and here we are measuring reaction, and if there is any time gap, no matter how small may be, our third law is invalid. And thus, when we talk about the atomic dimensions, you've heard about Heisenberg uncertainty principle, right? So according to the Heisenberg uncertainty principle, we cannot define two canonical values at the same time. That means we are, if we are sure about the one quantity, we are very unsure about the other quantities. Also, if we talk about the magnetic force, many a time a situation came when a point object and we have a wire. let's suppose. So this point object may apply this force on this wire, but this wire cannot apply force on this point object. We will see when we read about the electrodynamics. Okay, but you have to consider one thing: if these are not occurring, action and reaction are not occurring simultaneously, then third law is not valid. And this will be the most possible cases in when we read about electromagnetic radiations. Okay, so that's the theory part. We have to read about the Newton's laws of motion. Now let us discuss some of the questions based on it. So first question, I am taking this as block and spring. The motive of doing these questions are to get familiar with the Newton's laws of motion and to get the equations of motion. These two things are in our syllabus. Okay, so write down the question. Mass m is whirled at instantaneous speed v on the end of a string of length r. The motion is in a vertical plane in the gravitational field of Earth. So this is basically vertical circular motion, and gravity is also there. Also, it is written the forces on M are the weight, and weight we know here is given also mg downward. We also know that, and the string force that we also known as tension in the string, right, towards the center. See, I'm trying to solve all the important questions on the lecture, and whatever question left for solving in the classroom, we will give you in the form of assignment or daily practice test or in your test. Okay, so you need not to worry or roam around for multiple questions. You need just to revise these things. If you are able to revise all these things, you are ready to go with it. Okay. Also, the string makes angle theta at any instant with horizontal. We need to find the tension and tangential acceleration. We need to find the tension and tangential acceleration. Okay, pause the video and start solving on your own, and then come to the solution. So this is the vertical circular motion. So let us make a circle. It's nearly look like a circle, and suppose this is at this position, mass is at this position, and this is, this string length is r given here. Okay, and its velocity should be in the tangential, and this is v given, and mass is m. So consider this as r cap direction and this as theta cap direction. Okay, and here is g. So this is mg downward. So if we see the radial force, radial, if we apply the force, what will be the force? Let us draw the force diagram, or FBD, what are you saying? Let's suppose this is theta. So it will be T, and this will be theta. This will be mg. Okay, so if we write down the radial, okay, so this is also theta. Okay, so if we don't write down the radial component of velocity, so we can write it as minus t plus w sine theta, and it should be equal to centripetal force, that is MAR. And what is AR? We already know that, double dot minus r theta dot whole square. So if we write the force equation in radial direction, this is the radial direction, this is tension mg, so we will write this as the component. You already know these component, how to break these things. Okay, next, if we write the tangential component, if we wish to write the tangential component, what, tension is not there, only, sorry, not sine theta, it will be cos theta, I think, minus w cos theta is equals to ma theta. Okay, inward we are taking as negative. Okay, what is a theta? We also know that a theta we have learned about r dot theta dot plus 2r dot theta dot. Here we are not generalizing till now for the circular motion. We know that r dot is 0 here. Also, since r equals to r, we know that, and it is constant. So we know that r dot is 0. We can write this at ar is what? Ar is simply minus r theta dot whole square, or minus r omega square, or you know that if we write in terms of v, that will become what? Minus v square by r. Okay. So putting this, let's consider this as equation 1 and this as equation 2. Let's put this in equation 1. It will become t, equation 1 becomes t equals to mv square by r minus w sine theta, or we can write it as this also, mv square by r 1 minus gr by v square sine theta. So first part is done. We have successfully derived the tension part. Okay. Also note that tension cannot be negative here. Why it cannot be negative? Because tension always pull, not push. See, this is the nature of tension. If this is the string and this is the block, tension will act on this direction only. It cannot act in this direction. No, it cannot act. It will act in this direction only. It is always pulling in nature. Okay, so it cannot be negative. So negative here. So we can say that mv square by r must be greater than or equal to w sine theta. Okay, and the maximum value of w sine theta what we can write is what? W, sin theta maximum value is mv square by r is greater than W. If this condition is not satisfied, let's suppose if this condition is not satisfied, then what will happen? The mass does not follow the circular path. See, whenever you are writing any answer, you should justify what will be the consequences if it relation not follow, what will happen. So it will give you extra marks. So if not, if this is not, then we can write that particle or mass does not follow a circular path. What will happen? Let's suppose at any interval of time, let's suppose from here, its velocity may be like this one, and if the tension becomes zero here or negative here, so what will it will not go around this direction, it will fall directly downward. Okay, or in form of projectile it will come. So you should note that tension is always pulling, and what we are trying to achieve this should justify this equation also. Okay, here a theta is what? Only r double dot. We know that r dot is 0 here, so we can write as that w cos theta by m, that is minus g cos theta. Also, whenever you are writing anything like this, a theta equals to minus g cos theta, you must write that the whirling block, that the block is whirling, you must conclude if the final answer is this, a theta barabar minus g sin theta, you must write is like this, has tangential velocity, sorry, we are writing acceleration, that varies from plus g and minus g, no matters the value of speed, या the value of v. See, ये तो है अपना कि a theta क्या है, minus g cos theta. We know that cos theta value ranges from -1 to 1, so we can write this thing, and also it is independent of v, we can write this thing. So this part will fetch you half marks extra. If you leave this at that end, it will, let's suppose, give you 5 marks, and if you write these things only, elaborate this conclusion, it will give you half mark extra. Okay, okay, let's move to the other question. So wait, in this complete module mechanics, we will be dealing with the force only. Force is consequences or torque. Okay, so we are just studying the basic concept here, how to apply these things. Okay, so most of the questions will come also circling particle and the force, it will also come in when we deal about the central forces. But for now, as far what we have studied till now, we can answer this, we are able to answer these questions. Two particle of mass m, small m and capital M, undergo uniform circular motion about each other at a separation r under the influence of an attractive constant force. That force is F given here. Okay. The angular velocity is omega radian per second. We need to show that we have to prove this. R equals to F upon omega square 1 by small m plus 1 by capital M. So this is a typical central motion problem, right? Very easy to solve. So let's suppose we have a mass small m and we have a mass capital M. Okay. And this is the axis and both of them are rotating with omega under a constant force. Let's suppose F. This is already given. Let's suppose this as R of small m and this as R of capital M. This is what? R of capital M. So this is equals to R. So we know that Rm plus Rm is equals to R. Okay. Just we need to find out the Rm and R small m and R capital M. So what can we write from the force equation? So you need to write all these things, right? Let Am be the acceleration of small mass, Am, let's Am the acceleration of small mass, Am will be the acceleration of bigger mass. This is for small one and this is for the big one. You need to write all these things. Then you can write the equation MAM is equals to M Rm omega square radial direction equals to F. This is equation number 1. For capital mass M, we can also write this thing M Am is equals to M Rm omega square equals to F. Equation 2. Try to find out Rm and Rm. We know that Rm plus Rm is equals to R. We can easily substitute its value. Rm is what? F upon small m omega square plus this is what? S upon capital M omega square is equals to R. So I think we are done. We have derived this thing. Take the F upon omega square common. We will left with 1 upon M upon 1 upon M. So this we want to conclude. Also, note one thing. We don't know about these relations, but we know that this is also valid in case of sun and planet. So this will fetch you some extra mark. Do not end here. Write it down for that it will be also for sun and what happened? Sun is there and center of mass of the system lying somewhere here. And here is any planet, let's suppose Earth. And both of them move around this center of mass. Although it coincides with the sun because sun is very large as compared to the Earth. But this also happen in case of sun. Also in case of binary star. So if you add these points, it will add a value addition to your marks. Suppose this is a star and this is a star and this is its center of mass. So according to this axis, both of them will rotate about that axis, right? So actually, Earth does not rotate about the sun. Sorry, revolve around the sun. It revolves around the center of mass of sun and the Earth. But sun is so much massive than the Earth that center of mass of the system coincide with the sun. Okay, so we can write these things also from our previous knowledge. Okay, next example, and this is very important example because UPSC has asked this question, similar question, and most of this type of question we will study in our mechanics of continuous media. But as far as our knowledge, we can solve this also. The Earth's atmosphere normally carries a large number of very small particles. For instance, water droplets and carbon shoot. Generally called aerosols. So you must have studied this in your geography classes or environment classes also. No, we are not interested there, but consider a spherical water. Now our question came. Now consider a spherical water droplets. It's still air falling under gravity. Still falling under gravity. If the radius is 5 micron, see the radius, it's very small. Also, when we read about optics, the radius is so small, 5 microns. Scattering also occurs when water droplet of this size is there in the air. But leave it for now. We will study there also. What is the maximum speed of fall? That is the terminal velocity. Okay. Also, we are given some input like density of water is given. Also, we know that 1000 kilogram per meter cube, and dynamic viscosity of air, that is eta, you say that at 20 degrees Celsius, we have to make sure temperature is constant. We have to assume that temperature is constant. 1.8 into 10 to the power minus 5 kg per meter second. Okay. So this is our question. So come to the solution part. How will solve it? So what's happening here? Suppose this is the cloud and here is the water droplet. So at first, what water droplets come down due to the gravity, and we know that air is a fluid. Air is what? Air is a fluid, and fluid resists the motion. If you throw any ball in the water, what will the water try to do? It will restrict their its motion, right? So we can say that, and I want to write down something. It apply a viscous force. So we should write about this viscous force. The viscous force considering Fv is where is along the line of motion, is along the line of motion. Also it opposes the motion and is proportional to its velocity. Higher the velocity, higher will be the viscous force on it. And we know that viscous Fv is written as minus C of V, where C is a constant. Where C is what? C is a constant that depends upon nature of fluid and geometry of object. And what Stokes does that? He said that C equals to 6 pi eta r. Stroke for a spherical object. Okay, what we have found that C equals to 6 pi eta r. R is what? R is basically radius. Eta is what? Eta is viscosity. So we can write that for a spherical object, we can easily write that Fv is equals to minus 6 pi eta r v, and this is also known as Stokes law, that we will deal later in when we read about mechanics of continuous medium. Now consider the drop. This is spherical drop. Consider it. So if we try to generalize the force, this will be mg. Okay, here it's acceleration a, that is equals to, we can write as dv by dt, and above Fv, viscous force will be acting above to restrict the motion. So from here, from this motion, we can easily write that m dv by dt is equals to what? Minus 6 pi eta r v plus mg. Also, we know that m is what? Sphere. It's sphere. So volume into 4 pi r cube into rho of water. Volume into density is mass. Put it there. So we will left out with this thing, dv by dt. Put the value of mass 4 by 3. It will go there. 19 by 4. That will become minus 9 by 2 eta v upon rho r square plus g. So see, if the droplet starts from rest, that is v equals to 0. V equals to 0 at t equals to 0 when the droplets, and it will acquire velocity. Okay, and it will accelerate due to the acceleration due to gravity. But viscous force will what will it does? So see the diagram once again. Niche mg and upper viscous force. So it will accelerate the object and it will retard the object. So a time will come when it will achieve its maximum velocity. Then at time we call that velocity as terminal velocity, Vt, and it is the constant velocity, the time when the both of the forces balances each other. So we can strictly say that dv by dt at that time will be what? Zero. Putting on our equation, we can say that minus 9 by 2 eta v value, that is Vt upon rho r square plus g, which gives Vt equals to 2 by 9 g rho w r square by eta. So we have value with us. We can put the value 2.9 into 9.8 meter per second square into 1000 kg per meter cube into 5 into minus 6 meter whole square upon 1.8 into 10 to the power minus 5 kg meter second. Use the calculator. You will get around 3 into 10 to the power minus 3 meter per second. Also try to analyze something. The water droplet is very small, so it will practically floats in air. See, the velocity is very small. This velocity is negligible. It's close to zero. Right? This velocity is what? 0.003 meter per second. If someone is coming with this velocity, it will be negligible. So the water droplet practically floats in air. But if we increase the dimension, okay, if we increase the radius, then its terminal velocity will also increases. Okay, so we have to keep this in mind. Okay, so see what I am trying to do. If you know the force formula, how can you find out the velocity or the position or the equation of the motion? This is our concern. We are not expecting that you know the Stokes law. We're not expecting you know the viscous formula. But if I teach you the viscous formula, if the question is given about that force, if you know the force relation, you should be able to find out its velocity and position. Okay. Also, do one question. Also, this is based on viscous force. And this is of great use. Suppose if viscous force acts only, no other force. If the only force acts on a body of mass m is viscous, that is Fb equals to minus Cv. This is given. Find equations of motion. So first try to solve on your own, then see the solution. So simply we can write that m dv by dt, ma for F barabar ma is equals to Cv. Okay, and let us assume tau equals to m by c. I'm not going to discuss the significance of this term. We will come when we will study about mechanics of continuous media. But for the timing, let us assume tau equals to m by c. So we can write is that dv by dt equals to minus v by tau. So we can write this as dv by v is equals to minus 1 by t dt. We can use the integration here. So at time 0, let it has suppose velocity v naught, and at time t it has velocity v. So from here we can write that ln v upon v naught is equals to what? Minus t by tau. So from here we can easily write that v equals to v naught e to the power minus t by tau. And if we wish to make it graph, we can also make the graph of it. It will be exponentially decrease with time. This is time, this is velocity, and this v naught. At t equals to 0, its velocity is v naught. Okay, and this is dv by dt, this form dv by dt equals to minus v by tau that we have discussed is very effectively if we replace v, with number of nuclear species, then it will be helpful in getting the laws that govern the loss of nuclear species due to the radioactive decay, right? So same formula we can, wait a minute, something, right? So if the way here the velocity decays, exactly if we change the v with what number of nuclear species, exactly how the mathematical structure of radioactivity decay will occur. We will let us see this also in nuclear physics. If we change this with temperature, if we change this with temperature, we are able to say how a body cools down to get into thermal equilibrium, right? So it will give us the result of thermal equilibrium. You can see the Newton's laws of cooling also. We will study about that also later. But in Newton's law of cooling, what we do? This, या फिर मान लो एग्जांपल, चाय जब ठंडी होती है तो पहले क्या होता है, बहुत जल्दी बहुत ठंडी होती है, फिर बहुत धीरे धीरे ठंडी होती है. तो these are factors also. If we with charge on capacitor, so it will gives us the equation of discharging of capacitor. Try to understand one thing. I'm not estimating, or I'm not assuming that you know all these things. Although these are the syllabus of 11 12, in 11 12 you have read about these things, but if you don't know, still there is no problem. What I'm going to say that value addition to this problem will be these lines. If you write these lines with this equation, it will help you to fetch extra marks. Okay, now one more question on falling raindrop. Solve the equation of motion to find the speed at any time after the droplet is released from rest. So based on the previous question, we can solve this. We need to find the speed. Okay. So assuming positive downward and negative upward, we can write it as force equals to ma, that is m dv by dt. What is the force acting on it? The viscous force cv plus mg. See, viscous force is acting upward and mg is acting downward. The same. Okay. Also, we can write that dv by dt is equals to what? Minus cmv plus g, which in turn also v equals to minus v tau by g, or minus v plus g tau by tau. So now we need to find the equation. We can do one thing. We can place dv here and minus vg tau. Okay. And 1 by tau dt. From the above equation, we can rearrange the equation like this. And we know that at t equals to 0, its velocity is 0. So we need to find out the velocity at time t. When you solve this equation, you will get ln minus v plus g tau upon minus 1, and we have to put the limit from what? 0 to v equals to t by tau. I expect you to remember these equation. If you know, don't remember, you should do. Ax plus b dx is equals to ln ax plus b upon a plus c. So you should know these formula. Also, here you can write minus v g tau by g tau is equals to minus t by tau. Taking log that side, putting this value, we can get this. So we can easily get this. V equals to, put it there and subtract it from here. G tau 1 minus e t by tau. Also, the loss of current in capacitor follow this relation also. When capacitor is charging, the loss of current is like this only. Okay. And here we can note this thing. What? G tau is what? Terminal velocity. If you, how do we get this? If you do dv by dt equals to 0, you will get the value g tau equals to terminal velocity. So you can write this equation as this also. V equals to v tau 1 minus t upon tau. Also, if you replace v with current in charging capacitor, you will get the exact same result. I equals to I naught 1 minus e to the power t by tau. Right. So these are the value addition which can you use, because complete physics, sorry, we can quote example from the complete physics. We need not to find the example for mechanics from mechanics only. We can use from any real life example. We know that. Okay. Okay. Next, one more. Probably we will end this. Wait. This is basically Hooke's law and simple harmonic motion. We will study this in great detail also, but what I am trying to do is to make this fit in one relations. So we have the question, derive the equation of SHM, and we have given with this. This is the condition here, that spring constant K is here, mass M is attached, and we have given a small displacement this side. Okay, so now we are going to solve this. Okay, so let me tell you something. In mid 17th century, जब न्यूटन भी अपना काम कर रहे थे, Robert Hooke discovered that extension of the spring is what? Proportional to the extension in it. No matter it's of negative extension or positive extension, force of spring is equals to K into x minus x naught. ठीक है? Where what? K is what? Spring constant. X naught what we said at mean position. And x minus x naught is what? Displacement from mean position. So Hooke gives this law. So if we apply this in our, we can simply write that m dv by dt is equals to minus kx, or simply d square x by dt plus k by m into x equals to 0. And this is a great differential equation. This is of great use. What? D square x upon dt square, sorry, dt square will be there, plus omega square x equals to 0. Let's use this equation, considering omega is equals to root under k by m. Wait. Omega is equals to root under k by m. If we consider this will be the equation, and this is known as differential equation of SHM. This is known as what? Differential equation of SM. So we can derive the velocity from here, we can derive the position for here, but I want to stop it here and want to discuss, if we change the X with charge in LC circuit, see, oscillation of the charged particle, the conversion of magnetic field into electric field and electric field into magnetic field in LC circuit, we can also measure it from there. So you need not to worry about these things. What I'm trying to say, we will connect this when we study electromagnetism. Okay. One more thing, nothing. First lecture ends. Okay. And what is your homework? Complete revision 3 times in this week, and also daily practice test number 1. You have to submit this. Deadlines of the submission will be given in your DDP. I'm going to show you the DPT and how you will be submit all these things. Okay. Also, I'm not able to take the lecture 2 this week because we are canceling lecture 2 this week because we are already studied for around 5 hours. Okay. And for the first week, it is sufficient. You need not to वी विल प्लान दिस लेटर ऑल्सो, आगे हम लोग पढ़ लेंगे। तो प्लान ये था कि एक वीक में हम लोग 5 से 6 घंटे पढ़ेंगे, और 5 घंटे का लेक्चर 1 हमारा हुआ है अभी। तो लेक्चर 2 को हम लोग अगले वीक शिफ्ट कर रहे हैं, सो दैट कि इस पूरे प्रोसेस में सब लोग आ जाए, इस लेक्चर को देख ले, इसके नोट्स को देख ले, ठीक है। ऑल्सो ये जो लेक्चर है इसका मैं पीडीएफ नोट तुम्हें दे दूंगा, ठीक है। वीडियो देखो, लेक्चर नोट को पढ़ो, है ना। उसके बाद जो भी आंसर्स है उसको सबमिट करो, और फिर हम लोग नेक्स्ट वीक स्टार्ट करेंगे लेक्चर 2 अपना। तो इस वीक के लिए लेक्चर 1 ही करेंगे। मैं तुम्हें अभी डीपीटी दिखाता हूं। सो दिस इज योर डीपीटी, ओके, डेली प्रैक्टिस 1। सो आई हैव गिवन, okay, this is the quote only. I have given all the information here. Go through these information and you will get to know how to submit these things. Questions are there and you have to write in this margin only, standard size set by the UPSC, and submit it. Okay, so this is for now. I'm going to conclude lecture 1 here. Okay, we will start lecture 2 next week.